Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the channel. Welcome back to the channel. Whatever you do, don't move to Lake of the Ozarks. And shooting a quick video here. Last week's video, we were talking about all the summertime fun and things that you can do at the lake. This week, we're actually talking about some cons or, hey, some things to think about for not moving to the lake. And, you know, as much as we love being down here and we love everything this place has to offer, the summertime fun, the lake life, the activities, and kind of just different peaceful way of life, it's also a realization that it's not for everybody. And there are going to be some certain things that may unattract you, disattract you from moving to the lake. So I just wanted to go over a few of those. They could be silly, they could be funny, they could be serious, but you know, ultimately we understand that it's just not for everybody. And one of the big reasons is because of the tourism, right? We always talk about that peak season, Memorial Day to Labor Day. And during that peak season, you have this influx of tourism. You have this crowd of people that come down here and they busy everything up, right? The waterways, the roadways, they clog up the restaurants, they're in the grocery stores, they're in the gas stations and retail, and that clogs everything up. And sometimes people don't like that, right? It's too busy, it's too crowded. It's like living in a college town where all these students come back to school, cause chaos, and then at the end of the season, they go home. Now, if you're in a business that feeds off of tourism, then that's obviously a good thing. Or maybe you're somebody that enjoys the energy of what that tourism season is like. And so pros, cons, don't really know. I'm just talking about like, hey, if you have a problem with tourism and people coming here and visiting and having fun on weekends or during that peak season time frame, maybe that's a con for you and maybe a reason not to move to the lake. Because of tourism and the influx and things of those peak seasons, that's another potential con is summertime versus wintertime, and things that are open during the summertime are shut down during the wintertime. And some of our favorite activities or our favorite restaurants or lakeside bars or whatever can't maintain business without tourism. And so that can be a bummer, right? If you enjoy going to a certain place and you've built friends and community there, and then after Labor Day and then sometime into October, they shut down completely, that could be kind of a bummer. And so you'll see that there's things that will open up during the summer that will shut down during the winter, and that could potentially be a con for you for moving to the lake. That's a very fast boat. See if we can check this guy out. Here he goes. Oh, side note. Hope that didn't screw up my video. Pretty cool though. So influx in season, right? Up and down, pros and cons. That can also be the same thing with job opportunities. So if you're down here and you are relying on working, and again, that tourism industry is what's feeding your income, and then obviously that kind of shuts down, that's definitely a con, or just something to think about, right? We talk to a lot of people that are in service or hospitality or work at these restaurants or events and stuff like that. And then again, after Labor Day and into October, those places shut down, and all of a sudden your employment kind of runs out. So now you have to find some wintertime work. And so bouncing back and forth with this whole seasonal, peak season, off season, places open, places shutting down, fluctuating jobs, like that's a thing. You might be retired or you might work from home and it might not bother you at all, right? And pro, con, I don't know, right? But it's fun to have energy during the summertime, and then it kind of chills out during the wintertime. So food for thought, a seasonal place, tourism attractions, peak season, off season, things open, things close, just kind of the way it is. The other potential con that we run into when we're talking with folks is, I wouldn't say lack of things to do, but lack of big city things to do, right? At the end of the day, this is just a big ass lake in the middle of nowhere. And so with that comes minimal big city things, right? If you enjoy big city life, or you want to have major sporting events or major concert venues or 5-star hotels and restaurants and an art scene and stuff like that, this isn't going to be the place for you, right? Like, this is just, there's no downtown areas. There's no big city anything around here. And so if you're looking for that, cool, certainly not the spot. If you're not looking for that, then maybe this is your spot. But for those people that we talk to that do enjoy some big city stuff from time to time, you got St. Louis and Kansas City, which are pretty close by. So you could easily drive 2 hours in either direction, go up and do your big city deal for the weekend, go to your sporting events, go to your shows, do whatever you want to do in big city life, and then you can come back to the peace and tranquil environment of the Lake of the Ozarks. Pro and con, right? If you want to walk out your front door, go 2 blocks to a Starbucks, this ain't the spot for you. If you're not looking for that and you like a little bit of separation and peace and quiet and nature, maybe this is the spot. All right, a couple other things to think about for not moving to Lake of the Ozarks. Brought it up on these videos time and time again. It was an eye-opener for my family, especially my wife. But when we came down here, we were pleasantly surprised by the amount of bugs that were here. And like, we're not claiming to ever be the smartest people in the world, but when you move to the middle of the woods and you're in a big body of water with full dense forest all around you, you're going to run into a massive amount of bugs and wildlife. Right now, the wildlife piece is pretty cool, but it's something to kind of keep in the back of your mind, right? There's a lot of deer, there's a lot of armadillo and just fox and just a lot of big nature type stuff around here, but there's also a lot of bugs and skeeters and gnats and June bugs, and my goodness, they're as big as your head sometimes, but they can be super annoying. And so if you're not used to bugs or that's not a thing for you, beware, be prepared, and understand that that's what you're going to see when you come down here. Now, again, I've mentioned it. We found ways to mitigate it, right? You got to have a bug guy. So we got a bug guy that can come down. They kind of power wash your house at the beginning of the season. And then every month they come and they spray the property. They spray the trees, the cracks, the crannies, they spray around kind of your property. They come down. They can't spray chemicals on your dock because it's by the water. But you can put like these essential oils or these other kind of things on your dock to help mitigate the bugs down by there. But man, I tell you, if you're not used to them, you will be pleasantly surprised by the amount of them. You got a problem with spiders, man, this just might not be the spot. If you got a problem with gnats or flies or like just stuff like that flies around, like this again might not be your spot. But if you're okay with it or you're comfortable with finding ways to mitigate it, then maybe it is your spot. But certainly an understanding that you are in the middle of the woods around a big body of water and you're going to have to deal with a lot of bugs. Sticking on theme with being in the middle of nowhere on a big body of water or just not around big city kind of stuff, very, very limited cell phone signal and Wi-Fi coverage. And that is a thing, right, folks? We've had people come down and make purchases that reach back out to us afterwards that potentially might not have used us, whatever the case is. And hey, Scott, we bought a house down there and then we watched your videos and we did not realize that the home we bought has next to no cell phone coverage signal. It also does not have the right Wi-Fi company that provides the best internet service. And so when you're home shopping and you're looking for a place, you want to be very cautious on your cell phone signal, especially if you're doing it remotely. If you don't live here and you can't walk out there and test your cell phone, you have to rely on other people to do that for you. And so we purchased our home remotely, but our real estate agent was phenomenal with like, hey, this is great cell phone service. This is not. Hey, this property does not have the right Wi-Fi and internet company there. So if they don't have the local company that can run cable into your house, you are going to deal with or use Starlink or some type of satellite-based Wi-Fi. And if that's the case, it could be spotty and choppy. And if you have to work from home or you need high-speed everything all the time, that is going to be a very key thing to think about, especially your cell phone. You don't ever want to get into a scenario where you purchase a home, you spend hundreds of thousands of dollars, and you can't call out, or you can't get calls in, or you can't do the work that you need to do to help pay for the home that you just bought. So understand, spotty coverage, middle of the woods, a lot of hills, a lot of forest, a lot of things that can block a signal. And so we got to be prepared for what you're looking for, the location you're looking for. Got to mitigate those bugs, but we got to make sure we have the right cell phone and Wi-Fi coverage as well. All right, gang. So again, we are still talking remote life. We're talking about a remote mountainous area, right? Lake of the Ozarks is a dammed reservoir from one side to the other. They flooded the Ozark mountain range. And with that comes the fact that every road around here is curvy, steep, gravel. Your driveway is going to be steep. There is no flat grid-like pattern that's down here. And we've had conversations where people are pleasantly surprised by how tricky it is to navigate yourself around this lake. And if you get car sickness, or if you drive in the mountains and you realize you get queasy, this certainly might not be a place for you. The last thing you need to do is get queasy every time you go to the grocery store, right? So understand, when you come down here, it's going to be tricky. Now, again, as you're driving around very curvy roads and very steep roads, you're also going to have nature in those roads, right? So you will see deer constantly. You will see armadillos and raccoons and all sorts of things that are going to come out into the roadway. And so you got to be on point, right? You certainly got to be paying attention constantly. You got to put your cell phones down. You certainly shouldn't be drinking it around here when you're driving, because it's not an easy place to drive around. It is very difficult terrain. Getting in and out of the lake is going to be some type of steep descent, right? Your driveway is also probably going to be a very steep driveway. And so if we're older in life and we don't need to be climbing up steep driveways or tons of stairs, those are things that we need to help navigate for you, right? We need to find properties that might be a little bit flatter or might have easier accessibility to get in and out of. But understand, right, when we talk about some of the cons of being here, it's remote, right? It's very remote world. With that, right, the draw and attraction is the lake. So you're going to have peak seasons and tourism times. You're going to have an influx of people coming in to have a lot of fun. You're going to have restaurants and activities that you enjoy doing that are going to shut down, and that's going to be a bummer. And if you rely on those industries for income, then you're going to have to think about that when you're making your transition. But you're in the middle of the woods, in the middle of nowhere, and so there is no big city lifestyle that you're going to have here. There is no big city sporting events or concerts or any of that stuff that you're going to have access. Now, it is close, but you're going to have to drive to go get it. And again, you're in nature, and so there's going to be a lot of bugs and spiders and just weird things that are going to come out of the woodworks, and the roadways are going to be challenging to navigate. And those are just some of the things that you might want to think about before you actually make a purchase. And we've said it, come down and visit us, right? Call me, text me, email me, come stay at our place if you need to, but you're going to want to make a visit and come check out this place and see if it's a really good fit. Now, if you are looking for a little bit of separation, peaceful, tranquil, chill lake life vibe, a lot of fun, a lot of activity, a lot of nature, something different than the monotony of our metropolitan cities in a very chaotic world that we live in, maybe this could be the place for you. Maybe you could come down here and rewrite your history and change the chapter and maybe raise your family a little bit differently or live out your retirement world a little bit differently. There's definitely some cons to think about, but when you look out, and I'll grab the camera and spin it around, I'm pretty sure that the pros outweigh the cons. So you can wake up to news like that every day. You know, maybe it is a place that you want to be at. So anyway, thought I'd have a little fun with it. Definitely some pros and cons to any place that you want to live. And obviously I want to help you with any of that stuff, Lake of the Ozarks. So anything I can do for you, call me, text me, email me. Love to jump on a Zoom call and have more conversations with you. I hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll do another one next week. So until then, we'll see you guys later. Bye. Those peak seasons, that's another potential con, is summertime versus wintertime. And side note, hope that didn't screw up my video. Pretty cool though. Cut.